All right, this is new. This is a first time. You're probably wondering, what are you driving right now, Sam? What are you doing? Why are your shorts that way? And these are all good questions. But today, May 15th, I decided for some reason that it was a great time for me to try to make my first ever vlog. I don't know, maybe it's for myself, maybe it's for the internet, but either way, I want to get my equipment out. I want to keep making video. I've been trying to just get myself out and be more creative and do things. And while this might be a bit of a softball, I'm still excited. And we're going to go disc golf together. It's probably going to be terrible because not only am I rusty in my video and creativity skills, but I'm also quite rusty in my disc golf, in my disc golfing. My disc golf technique, my skulls, my lack of skills. I don't know. So yeah, we're gonna drive over to Interlaken Park, which is where I learned to play disc golf and was where I would play all the time during my lunch breaks back when I worked at one of my previous jobs. It was a really fun way for me to get to know a couple of my colleagues and one of my very good friends who I'm still friends with to this day. You know, him and I met over 10, 12 years ago at that job, and we're still tight. Now, we haven't really disc golfed in a while, but that's fine. I probably need to knock the rust off, so to speak, before I start doing it in front of anybody else. And since I know this course very well, I think it'll be a little bit easier for me to kind of remember what I'm doing. So we're going to go out there, and we're going to play 9 holes today. And we're just gonna see, we're just gonna have fun. That's all we're doing. We're not gonna see anything. We're gonna see ourselves having fun. So come along for the drive. On the way there, enjoy the new interior of the K4. I know a lot of you probably think this isn't the nicest car ever, but to me, this is a brand new car and I freaking love it. And it's one of the other video things that I'm working on is making like a, I don't know, a sizzle video of my new car. And again, it's not the nicest car, but to me it is so freaking nice and so freaking new, and I couldn't be happier with it. So, you know, haters are gonna hate, but I love this thing. So let's fast forward over to the disc golf park. All right, we are pulling into East Park right now, and my deepest fear has already come to fruition, and there are people on the first hole and the second hole, which means I'm just gonna have to buck up and do this video while people watch me. Oh my God, how uncomfortable. I'm parked here at the 9th basket. I hope to God nobody hits my car. That would make me cry, largely. But let's grab the bag and get over to the first tee and get this round of golf started. All right, it's bright as hell out here. And thankfully, today there is no water down in the overflow channels. So I don't have to switch into my Crocs. No, not my Crocs. Into my Chacos. Always bring the Chacos, ladies and gentlemen. They are awesome for when you are out disc golfing, because there's nothing worse than watching your disc fly into that stream, or again, whatever it's called, and then you have to just absolutely chase down there, sprint, rip your shoes off, and then jump in to like knee-deep questionable water. But not gonna be a problem today. So I'm gonna set up and we're gonna go do some practice putting with this buddy over here, and knock the rust off before we get started. Join me. I only have 2 putters. a Wizard Evolution, and an AVR X. This one's really rubbery, it's very bendy. This guy's way more stiff. I think I chased our friend away. It's good. I do have one other, I think, kind of putter. Born to Lose. Hopefully that doesn't mean lose the disc. Hopefully that just means lose the game, but either way. Not bad. We're definitely very rusty. I feel like I need to put my purse down so I can throw these a little bit harder. But the line is there, which is pretty good. Shooting at like 15%, and I'm going to do one more and really hope that I get 2 of these, and then we're going to go to the first tee. Well, I don't really think I could get any closer than that without putting all 3 of them actually in the basket, so we're going to count that. At this point, I think the only putter that I actually made in was the Born to Lose putter, so that's going to be our primary putter today. It's a little bit ridiculous because this tripod is huge, but in the end, it allows me to get a very high shot, which I like. And yeah, it just makes it a little bit more versatile. Plus, it's a single monopod, which definitely makes life a little bit easier. So here we are, Interlaken Park. For disc golf, this is par 3. This is the first hole. Yeah, let's get you set up here. Nice bird's eye view. There we go. I was gonna say, I don't know where all the height went, but it was gone. So most people would just throw a putter here. At least most people who know what they're doing. But it's been a bit, so I'm going to use a Volt, which is one of my favorite discs actually, so I can't lose this today. But this is a stable disc, so usually when you throw it, it bends back to the left if you don't know what that means. Understable discs generally flip to the opposite direction and go right if you're right-handed. There's nuance. But here we go. We're going with the Volt. That was actually an insanely good throw. I needed a little bit more pepper on it for it to come in right at the basket, but it actually hit the tree and continued on straight, and we are probably 15 feet from the basket, so let's go. I have not been out here to play disc golf in probably over 2 years, it feels like. And man, I can remember grip locking on that first tee and like throwing over the road on that side. But today was really good. So we bounced off this tree right here, and that actually gave us a little bit of momentum to keep moving forward instead of us coming down the hill. So it actually ended up saving us. But we are right here. I'm gonna go drop this tripod, and we're gonna bucket this and put ourselves at a birdie on our first hole. Because I believe. Charity shot. That's absolutely what I deserve. I'm taking that second shot there, but I'll take putt. We'll take the par, and now I've got people behind me, so I'm going to turn off for a minute. We're back on hole 2. People behind me are just absolutely letting it rip. Back here I've got one that actually passed the tee box on this side. But it looks like their second shot is just about to park on the box there, so that's quite nice. But our second shot here is 253 feet. It's actually right down towards the putting green that we were practicing on earlier. And I'm going to move this because I don't think you can really see what's happening. But this will give you an idea of how bad my shot is. Totally slipped out of my hand, and that's coming back to disc golf, so I'm gonna grab that. All right, this was actually a way more terrible throw than I thought. I probably was closer to the first tee box than I was the second basket, so we're gonna use a putter because I kind of want to just float it over to the box here. But either way, we're just out to have fun and figure out what we're doing again because it's been a minute. Well, that's quite nice, actually. Okay, not bad. We're looking at like a 15-20 foot putt there. I would say I could make that work. Now, can I hit par? That's a different question, but I think we're at least in the par making opportunity zone. Because once you're at like over 20 feet for a putt, at least for this guy, that was very few and far between. But every now and then, you know, we get lucky, and we're just out here making buckets. So I got my mini disc, so I can make sure we're not overstepping where we're supposed to be. And just a simple little putt here. Very makeable. Let's fucking go. Alrighty, let's go get that. That was a well-deserved par, I feel like, because it was a great recovery from a otherwise terrible tee, but I'm very pleased with that. So now we're gonna go over here and cross the bridge up to our third tee box, which, lucky for me, is another great hole for me to use my Volt. Honestly, most of this 9-hole course is pretty good for the Volt. Almost all of them are stable throw areas for right-handers, and I'm right-handed, so right here is our alternate tee box. We're not going to do that. That's just basically the same shot but farther away. But here we are. We are on hole 3, 217 feet, another par 3 here. And this was one of the holes that was so brutal about losing your disc, because when the water is flowing here, it's very easy for you to be on the other side or in that water, and it was going away from you too. So if your disc fell in there when there was a good amount of water, it was going to be very hard for you to catch up. Now, it's probably hard to see from here, but our basket is just to the left of this first light that's ahead of us next to the sidewalk. Now, the only thing we have to be worried about is if we go too high, there's a lot of downhill area on the left side of the basket. So if you overshoot this, it's usually running, and then we're going to be stuck doing like an uphill shot for our second and third strokes. Just feels like an ace. Just feels like an ace. Okay, once again, absolutely saved by the tree. Oh, I needed a lot more pepper on it. Again, I definitely don't have my normal like power gauge set, but we didn't overshoot it, which is important. We didn't go too high. Actually kind of came in almost right on the sidewalk, which can sometimes be really good because a lot of people will play the sidewalks to get a nice smooth skip. Now, I was coming in too hot and too high, hit the sidewalk or just next to it, but Old Faithful here, this big bad tree, saved me, thank you, and kicked me right over here. So we are once again in kind of makeable putt territory, but overshooting this is dangerous. But risk nothing, win nothing. Oh my God. Oh! And now it's gone. It's absolutely running. Well, to be fair, I am a gambler. I am just not a very good one. So, oh my God, is that where that just rolled to? That's, it's like deep in the mud. Please don't be my disc over there, because I am wearing white shoes right now, and I just am gonna eat my words about not bringing my Chacos with me. So, I'm just gonna set this up right here, and you're gonna watch me go flail around in that mud in these white shoes. Oh no. Like it's pointed in the wrong direction. Okay, that sucked, but we got it. And that is why you always bring a rag with you. And honestly, maybe two, because this is just gross, mucky, black shit mud. This is not just dirt. This is like the belly of the earth type shit. And at this point, whoever was behind me is either well ahead or they are basically about to throw a disc directly at me. So hopefully neither. Actually, I do hope they're just ahead of me because that would make my life a little bit easier. Okay, that's a functional disc again. We're gonna work with that. I can't really throw it out of where it is, so we're just gonna take some liberties here and I'm gonna throw it from down at the edge of the creek. conditions are definitely a little different. This sucks. A little bit of a layup there. And this is all on a hill, so I'm probably just gonna contract you down like this and probably do this handheld with the backpack on. We might have to just take a bit of a gimme. Because again, I do not know where our other golfers that were right behind me. Maybe they were just playing the first 2 holes. Slam dunk. Okay. I guess in a way, that was a 4-ish. So not bad. We're only 1 over par. And we are right back on track now. And again, nobody behind me, so that's great. Here we are, par 3, hole 4, 274 feet. And I am once again going to throw, actually I'm gonna throw my nuke. No, nuke? No, buzz. My buzz. This is a mid-range, and it's not stable or understable. It's like a really balanced disc. It's basically supposed to go flat and straight. And that's where our shot is flat and straight. It's very easy to fuck this up because it looks way easier than it is. I can't wait to have my own scooter and just be buzzing all over the place like that guy. Literally fucking beautiful. Yeah, I would have liked to have a little bit more on that, but I'm extremely pleased with that throw. And I think even you watching could probably see how much that disc stayed flat and straight the entire time. I mean, if I was putting on a clinic of how to throw that disc, I think that would have been it. Now, if I could ever do that again is a completely different story, but for today, it worked out well. And it made me look good, so we're gonna take it. I'm not gonna lie, this vlogging thing is kind of fun. I get to just put my inner monologue out there. I don't need music right now, I'm just chilling, and I feel like I'm not lonely either. So, pop you up here. Back with the Born to Lose. And we have a good opportunity here to make par up on our last throw and go back to even, which would be awesome if we could throw par for these first 9. But we got some wind here now, so I gotta take that into account. See that. That was arguably pretty bad. And what happened there was that wind kicked up and absolutely floated the disc. So I didn't throw quite flat enough. I threw a little overstable, so the right side of the disc was up. That allowed a lot of the wind to get under it, and boy did that kick it up into the air. And so now, I remember this so well, I have to throw low because there's so many trees on this side. So usually we end up taking a knee on throws like this. Oh, this is awful. We're just gonna try to squat it out. Oh, fuck. So close. It's okay, we got a dunk here. We're back on another bogey. Unfortunate.
but we can drop it in. And honestly, I really shouldn't even be mad if I went +9 today, because it has been, like I said, years since I've played, and I don't have another person to kind of watch their strategy and be like, oh, I like his approach more. I basically have to just go off of what I remember from when I used to play this all the time. Now we're on hole 5. I'm gonna bring the Volt back out. This one's really hard to actually see the basket. I'm gonna bring you up a little bit. You cannot see it. It's a blind shot. But it is just over the hill here, down and underneath that kind of first big tree that you see farthest to the right. Now this is 238 feet, and it is again a par 3. I think everything except for 1 or 2 holes is a par 3 on this course. But this was always a really fun one because it was like you kind of didn't know where your shot was going to land, and then you would come over the hill, and then you'd be like, oh shit, that was actually really good. Or really bad. I'm not gonna lie, I already know that was not a great shot. I didn't come out far enough to the right with that throw. I was kind of too straight at the hole. And as a result, once that overstable disc broke to the left, I landed in the channel, which has a little bit of water down there right now. Not enough to, oh shit, is that it? No, I was gonna say, that doesn't even make sense. Not enough for it to be, you know, running away with my discs, but it's icky. It's icky like this in some places, and we don't like icky discs. We like clean discs, which is why you always bring a rag. We're gonna do some off-roading here because I'm pretty sure I landed somewhere in the rocks. I came in a little hard, but maybe we landed a little better than I thought. I feel like I didn't have enough pepper on it, and I cannot oh! Yeah, girl! Okay. I totally did that on purpose. It's actually my closest to the pin shot yet. Now, there usually is a bush that you have to stand in when you do these things. That's part of the game. But if we can sink this, hell yes. This is so makeable, Sam. That's our first birdie. That's stupid as fuck. That's awesome. That felt great. Absolutely love that. Boom. We're not losing today. We're not losing any discs. And we're definitely gonna start making this up. Now, this was one of my favorite holes actually. This one's super simple and it's a straight shot, but it was great for the Volt. It's a good overstable throw here, and it feels a lot safer. Ooh, that is extremely muddy. I did not need to step in that. Wow. Oh, Lord. Be careful over here, guys. We are at hole 6. It's 260 feet. It's a straight shot, but we always like to throw the overstable Volt right over the bush line here, and it usually breaks back. I'm not mad about that throw at all. Come down here. Now, was that the way I wanted to throw it? Not necessarily. I threw a little more straight than I wanted to the right, because again, I like to throw over the bush line here, and that always gives us a good break. But I was a little conservative, which I think is a good place to start because it's really easy to overthrow. It's really easy to grip lock and have your arm way past where you want your release point to be. And recovering from that shot is so much more difficult generally than just recovering from a good straight shot that didn't go as far. So I've lost my fair share of discs in here, and my friends have too. It sucks. It's hard to get it out. It's like a bog in there. But this is very nice. So we're gonna put you here in the middle. No, I want you to see it. Because I'm about to dunk my second birdie right here. So watch this. Hell yes. What did I say? What did I say? I was putting away the birdie, and we are back to par after 6 holes with 3 left. Man, that feels good. All right, so we are here at the 3rd hole. This is the longest hole so far, 379 feet. We're gonna kick off right here from the A box. No, the 7 box, as you can see. But we do have 2 alternative holes. Ooh, I kind of like that. That B alternative, that's new. I don't remember that. Also very short. But this is another overstable disc throwing area where we want to basically throw just over the edge of the water and make sure that we return safely to land over here. Now, I don't know, did they move the basket or something here? Because this image has 2 baskets on it, which would be new to me. And it does look like the basket is indeed moved because I can see the old platform where it used to be, which is right there next to the retaining wall. And it's not there anymore. So, hey, times are changing, I guess. It's a little soft and mucky over here. This is a hard throw. Like usually people really let it rip here. And they have a very standard size tee box. So some gentleman of a disc golf player came and installed some additional pavers so that people had an extra 2 feet, which, believe it or not, makes a huge difference because slipping off that front side where all that water and muck is right now is not ideal. And again, I'm wearing the shoes that are definitely not gonna do very well in that kind of shit. So conservative, straight, and careful over enough power. Now I know, and there's no way I'm gonna birdie this. This is an insanely far hole. But if I can get past sort of where the trees are bucked out to the furthest point next to the water, I'd be pretty happy with that, and I'd be in a decent spot to make sure I'm laying up for an easy par putt. Also, you do not want muddy shoes because if you slip, you can definitely mess yourself up in the dumbest way possible. And I'm the guy to do that. Extremely high, but extremely safe. So again, conservative. So again, we went for a more conservative throw there. I would be devastated to lose my volt over here in the water on my first outing back. Definitely, my goal today was not to lose any discs, and it was to just remember how to play. Even my footwork on the tee box, I was at home before I started recording just trying to remember where my feet were supposed to be before you do the little grapevine maneuver. Either way. See now, I remember making about 1 putt ever from this open space into where that old block was. Now we can't actually see where the basket is again, but it is just past this small tree here in the center, up there at the highest point. So This is another one where, because it's right on a hill, there's a lot of opportunity for the disc to start rolling and then come all the way down to the water. So I'm gonna basically be ready to sprint away from the camera and recover my disc if I see it moving towards the water. Why don't I put you in a good spot so you can watch me suffer? I have no idea how this is gonna fly. A mid-range Cobra. I don't even remember how to read the numbers on this, but I don't throw this ever, so I'm gonna throw it as an overstable disc and hope that it's kind of close. And if I lose it, I'll feel a lot less bad about it. As I was saying, the Cobra disc is basically one of my favorites. I throw it all the time. I know exactly what it does and where it goes. I've never even had to worry for a second that that it was going in the water. All right, sarcasm aside, extremely happy with that putt. Well, with that placement, because we are in a great spot for another par putt. You know, I will say, I think it's the talking that gets me more winded than any of the actual activity. But here we are with a good, like a 20-foot putt. Not bad at all. Oh, we're doing great. We are doing awesome. Very, very happy with this. Oh, God, I haven't been here in so long. I used to come out here all the time on my lunch breaks. I can't imagine how many times I was pants rolled up to my knees, ripping my socks and shoes off, jumping in the water when this was like, you can actually see the lines on where it usually is. It's usually a couple feet deep. Okay. Bloop. Here we are at our 8th hole. It's 241 feet. It's another very obscured shot. If you can see the light pole on the right side of the sidewalk, it's in between the two closest trees on the right. Now, I'll do some zooming in post, enhance. You probably still can't see it. But we're gonna throw Old Faithful here. And our goal is really to shoot on the right side over this first batch of trees and then have it kicking back into the left and landing right at the foot. So we have an easy par, or an easy putt for a birdie. A lot of wind coming across left to right though right now. So it's gonna drive my shot down faster once I get into that overstable fall. So I really have to be a little bit more conservative with how much downward slant I want. Oh, that's beautiful. That's freaking beautiful. Oh! All right, I think I was a little short and I hit the right side of the hill instead of the left side, which just means I didn't get the nice little slide in towards the basket that I wanted. However, that was pretty much the path I was aiming for and hoping that it was going to take. We just didn't get the landing exactly what I wanted. And I think the wind absolutely stopped in the middle of that throw too. So I really have no excuses. But I'm not mad. And besides, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. So again, it's not bad. We're not mad about that. But we're making me work for the birdie here. Oh, look at that. It says SR. I can see it. I don't know if you do, but I see SR. Let's go! Hey, that is our third birdie, and that actually puts us at -1. Oh, that is super exciting. And I probably said the 6th hole was my favorite hole, but I lied, because the 9th hole here has always been my favorite, because it's the one place where I do any type of unique throw. And that's because I throw a tomahawk here. Now, all of my throws here have been normal backhands. I gotta catch my breath. Have been normal backhand throws, which is standard how you play. But the tomahawk is thrown over your head, and it comes down extremely hard and fast. Where the other ones kind of glide slowly, the tomahawk comes down quick. So we're basically trying to throw into the air so it comes straight down. I'm talking 80-degree angle. Now it's the 9th hole now, 240 feet for another par 3, and this time we're gonna throw our Wraith, which is a overstable disc again, and we're gonna do the tomahawk. So instead of gripping it like this, or some varying level of, and then flicking our wrist as we throw, we're gonna go with actually, how do I do that? It feels weird. We're gonna go with one finger on the inside, and we're gonna flick over our head like this. You're gonna see it a lot better when I'm over here. We're just making sure that our pedestrian is passed, because the last thing I need to do is absolutely drill someone into the side of the neck or something, because I would do that. That's how you hold it. I feel it immediately. You gotta put that second finger in the middle, in the belly. Not enough pepper on it. Get down here. There we go. Not enough pepper on it, but that's definitely a throw where I can hurt myself. Now, as I threw it, I actually completely forgot what the real flight path was. Because as you throw that, it actually does like a 200-degree turn and flips flips upside down before coming back. So it actually comes down towards the ground upside down instead of normal, where the concave part of the disc is on the bottom. Now, this would be some victory putt area right here. This is pretty deep, but it's not impossible. But it's not a free shot either. Get over here. You can't see anything over there. We got a little run on the backside. I didn't love that. A little bit too much run on the backside. It feels really far away when I threw that, so I tried to give it a little bit more lift, like a lofted shot, but I didn't really love that. But actually, not a terrible end. I'm gonna risk the camera because I'm that confident. Born to lose? We were not born to lose today, baby. We came out with the -1, I think. I don't know. I'll check that in the recording. But I know we came out with at least, no, we did. We came out with -2 today.
Very nice words, but happens to be wrong.
I think I'm doing that math wrong. Yeah, we birdied 5, we birdied 6, we birdied 8, and we only bogeyed 1 hole.
Sometimes they're wrong.
We're -2 for the day. Holy shit. I would say that's an incredibly successful first time back out. And now it's time to get in to the air conditioning. Hell yes. Gotta get the air conditioning going immediately because it is toasty in this bad boy. And thankfully that was still just cold enough to actually help. But that's it. That's our first vlog. I actually am really excited to go home and edit this and take a look at it. Hopefully the colors look good. I tried something new with using log style footage, so we're gonna have to do some color grading as well to make sure that this looks cool. But this was our first real long format video that we've ever filmed, and I did it all with my Insta360. Can't wait. Hopefully there's more to come. And until next time, guys, stay dirty.